The year is 1999. The internet is new, it is exciting, and it seems like everyone is becoming a millionaire overnight. Companies with names like Pets.com and Webvan are worth billions, even though they have never made a single dollar in profit. It was a time of infinite optimism, a golden age. And then, the bubble burst. The dot-com crash. Thousands of companies went bankrupt. Trillions of dollars evaporated. It was the biggest tech crash in history. We learned a hard, painful lesson about the dangers of hype. But what if that never happened? What if the bubble never burst? In this video, I am taking you to a parallel world. A world where the dream of the 90s continued. And what I am about to show you will forever change how you see today's AI hype. Because in that world, technology is far beyond anything you can imagine. But before we dive in, let me know in the comments, do you think we are in a new tech bubble right now? Let us find out together. To understand what could have happened, we need to go back to the mindset of 1999. It was a completely new economy, the so-called new economy. The old rules no longer applied. Profit? Old-fashioned. The only thing that mattered was growth. Get big fast was the motto. Investors poured money into anything ending in .com. The number of visitors, the eyeballs, was the only measure of success. A company like GeoCities, an early version of social media, was bought by Yahoo for $3.6 billion without a clear plan to ever make money. It was pure speculation, driven by the fear of missing out, the FOMO. Everyone knew someone who had gotten rich from some vague internet stock. Day traders were quitting their jobs to trade full-time from home. College students were skipping classes to check their portfolios. The mania was everywhere. And so the money kept flowing. The bubble grew bigger and bigger. Until March 2000. That is when reality hit. Hard. In our reality, the inevitable happened. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates, investors got nervous, and the selling began. It was a chain reaction that dragged down the entire sector. It was a bloodbath. Empty offices, going out of business signs everywhere, and thousands of people losing their jobs and their dreams. But in our alternate world, something different happens. Let us say that a few crucial tech companies, like Cisco and Sun Microsystems, come out with revolutionary technology that makes the internet 10 times faster and more efficient. The promise of the internet is suddenly fulfilled. The panic does not strike. In fact, the hype gets a new injection. The bubble does not burst, it evolves. Welcome to the world where the dot-com dream never died. It is 2005 in this new world, and everything is different. Companies like Webvan, the online supermarket, have outcompeted physical supermarkets. Your groceries are delivered within 30 minutes by a fleet of autonomous vehicles. Amazon exists, but it is just one of many players in a crowded, competitive market. The metaverse is not a concept that Mark Zuckerberg introduces in 2021. It already exists. It is called the Palace or GeoCities 2.0. It is a virtual world where millions of people work, socialize, and shop. The graphics are simple, almost cartoonish, but the economy running inside it is massive. People are buying virtual real estate for real money, building businesses in digital worlds. Technological progress has been lightning fast. Because the money kept flowing, the rollout of fiber optics and super-fast internet was not delayed, it was accelerated. The smartphone was not invented in 2007, it appeared in 2004. And it is not a product of one dominant company like Apple. There are dozens of competitors, all with radical designs. Some have flexible screens, others are completely voice-controlled. And social media? It is not dominated by a few giants like Facebook or Instagram. The early creative platforms like MySpace and Friendster have evolved into decentralized networks. You have complete control over your own data. The idea of one company owning the data of billions of people is absurd in this world. Streaming? Netflix is not the king. There are hundreds of specialized platforms. Want to watch only French New Wave cinema? There is a platform for that. Obscure documentaries about ancient civilizations? Got it. The internet is a paradise of niche content. Education has been revolutionized. Online universities are not just supplements to traditional education, they have replaced it for millions of people. You can get a degree from MIT or Stanford without ever leaving your home. The cost is a fraction of what physical universities charge. Even healthcare has transformed. Telemedicine is not a pandemic necessity. It has been the norm since 2003. AI-powered diagnostics can detect diseases years before symptoms appear. It sounds like a utopia, does it not? A more creative, faster, and more decentralized internet. A world where technology has solved so many problems. But here is where things get dark. While this world looks amazing on the surface, it has a very dark side. The lesson of 2000 was never learned, and the focus on profitability and sustainable business models never came. The inequality is extreme. The founders of the thousands of dot-com companies are the new aristocracy. They live in compounds that make today's billionaires look middle class. The rest of the world is a kind of digital underclass, constantly hunting for the next online hype to make a little money. The creator economy is not a dream. It is a nightmare of constant self-promotion and competition. Imagine working 5 different gig jobs in the virtual world just to pay rent. You are a virtual tour guide in the morning, a digital content moderator in the afternoon, and you spend your evenings trying to build an audience for your own channel, competing with millions of others. There is no stability, no security, just endless hustle. Privacy? That's a joke. Because there are so many competing platforms, each one is desperately trying to monetize your data. You're not just tracked by one Facebook, but by hundreds of companies, all fighting for your attention and your information. Every click, every pause, every eye movement in your VR headset is recorded, analyzed, and sold. The financial markets? They're a permanent casino. Without the reset of 2000, investors have only become more reckless. Algorithms driven by pure speculation dominate trading. The market is so volatile that a crash could happen at any moment. And because the entire economy depends on this tech sector, a crash now would be catastrophic. Think of it this way. In our world, the 2008 financial crisis was devastating, but it was contained to housing and banking. In this alternate world, when the crash comes, and it will come, it will not be about houses or banks. It will be about everything. The warning signs are everywhere. Companies valued at hundreds of billions with business models that do not make sense. Investors who have never known a down market are taking bigger and bigger risks. A whole generation thinks the stock market only goes up. The financial crisis of 2008 might happen in 2006 or 2007 in this world, and it is not a housing crisis. It is an everything crisis. A crash so deep, so fundamental, that it would set the world economy back decades. Because the entire foundation was built on quicksand. When it hits, it is not just tech stocks that collapse. It is everything. The virtual real estate market, worth trillions, evaporates overnight. The hundreds of online banks with no physical assets go under in days. Millions of people lose not just their savings, but their entire digital lives. This is the price of never learning the lesson. This is what happens when the correction never comes. The crash that should have happened in 2000 is now 10 times worse because the bubble had 10 more years to grow. And that brings us back to our reality. The dot-com crash was painful. People lost their jobs, their savings, their dreams. I remember stories of people who had quit stable careers to join startups, only to find themselves unemployed within months. It was brutal, but it was also necessary. It was like a forest fire that cleared away the dead wood. The thousands of nonsense companies disappeared, and from the ashes rose the companies that actually had a sustainable model. Google launched a revolutionary advertising model. Amazon focused on logistics and efficiency. Netflix survived the crash and would change the entertainment industry. The crash forced the tech industry to grow up. It changed the focus from eyeballs to profit. It moved us from promise to reality. Yes, it led to the dominance of a few tech giants, with all the problems that entails. But it also created a more stable, more robust technological backbone for our modern world. The survivors were not the flashiest companies. They were the ones with real business models. They were the ones that understood technology is a tool, not magic. They were the ones that could answer the simple question, how do you make money? Here is the thing. Without that painful correction, we might not have the internet we have today. The cloud computing that powers everything came from Amazon's need to monetize its infrastructure. The advertising model that funds free services came from Google's innovation after the crash. The streaming revolution came because Netflix pivoted from DVDs to streaming in order to survive. Think about the companies that died. Pets.com spent millions on a Super Bowl ad but could not figure out how to profitably ship 40-pound bags of dog food. Webvan built massive infrastructure before proving the business model worked. They became cautionary tales that taught the next generation of entrepreneurs what not to do. The crash created a culture of lean startups, of minimum viable products, and of proving your model before scaling. These concepts, which seem obvious now, were born from the ashes of the dot-com crash. Pain creates innovation. Failure creates wisdom. The dot-com crash was not just a disaster. It was a crucible that forged the digital age. It separated the dreamers from the builders, the hype from the substance. So, what's the lesson for today? When we look at the current hype around AI, we see an echo of 1999, the same infinite optimism, the same fear of missing out. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Companies are being valued at billions without clear paths to profitability. Investors are pouring money into anything with AI in the name. We are seeing the same pattern: get big fast, worry about profit later. The parallels are impossible to ignore, but here's the difference. We have the memory of 2000. We know what happens when hype runs too far ahead of reality. The question is, will we remember the lesson, or are we doomed to repeat it? I think the crash will come. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but it will come. And, like in 2000, it will not destroy technology. It will refine it. It will separate the real innovations from the hype. The AI companies that are actually solving real problems, creating real value, they will survive and thrive. The ones that are just riding the hype, they will disappear. And from the ashes, the true AI revolution will emerge. Not the fantasy of artificial general intelligence that replaces all human work, but the reality of AI as a powerful tool that augments human capability. Not the hype, but the substance. The dot-com crash taught us that technology is powerful, but it is not magic. It has to serve real needs, solve real problems, and yes, make real money. That lesson is as true today as it was in 2000. So here's my question for you. Are we in a new dot-com bubble, or is this time different? Have we learned the lesson, or are we about to learn it again the hard way? Let me know what you think in the comments below.